Thanks, Lindsay. Thank you for that warm introduction, Lisa. And it was perfect timing to arrive right as Amy was talking about wanting to do this and not doing it since junior high. So what a great welcome. And good to see you again, John. And just really nice to be here on a Saturday. So I am going to err in the direction of more guidance rather than less. And if you have a practice that you already do and know well and works for you, feel free to just treat my voice as the sound of the wind and do what works for you. But starting just by sitting in a comfortable position, but you really want both of your sit bones supported. And allow yourself to have a long spine, a dignified spine, but drop your shoulders and see if you can just kind of feel into the body. A lot of people like to close their eyes. It's my preference for myself at this stage in my practice, but it's just as good to find a place to focus or gently kind of soften your gaze down in front of you a few feet. Whichever one really feels like it works better for you is completely fine. And we'll start today with our theme, just noticing the next breath that comes into the body and the next breath that leaves the body. And as we begin to more deeply notice the flow of the breath, it's always helpful to get grounded. So I'm going to invite you just to move some of your attention down into your feet. Just feeling into your feet on the floor, wherever they're resting. It's useful to have them balanced. So they're both on the floor or they're both cross-legged, whichever way is most comfortable. And just feel the place where they make contact. Noticing the pressure there. Perhaps you can sense the texture of your socks or shoes or whatever the floor is made of beneath your feet. And similarly, you can bring your attention on up your legs, right to your sit bones. And just feel the pressure on your sit bones, perhaps the way your flesh and muscles rests on whatever you're seated upon. Again, just getting a sense of the support beneath you. The furniture, the floor, the ground. And then there's even this support inside. Just letting the bones kind of hold you up. Feeling perhaps the long spine. Perhaps getting a sense of how the collarbones, the ribs connect. How the shoulders kind of hook in, allowing the long bones of the arms. to just rest. Even observing perhaps the head and almost the skull, like resting and protecting the brain. And at the same time, you have this internal support, this structure to hold the body. There's always this fluidity. The breath kind of moving in and out. And there's no need to change it. You don't have to do anything in particular. You're just taking this stance of a curious observer. Noticing the sensations as the breath moves in. Perhaps even finding the little pause before the breath changes direction to flow back out. And you might just observe the rhythm right now. Noticing how smooth or how slow or how effortless or whatever else the breath presents. And then if you choose, you might even notice the fourth part of the breath, the pause at the end of the out breath. Just witnessing this truly amazing circle. The breath moving into the body and pausing at the top. And moving out and pausing at the bottom. For some people, it's useful to feel all four parts of the breath in different places. So if you wish, you Might just concentrate on the skin around your nose and the top of your lip. You can even place your fingers there if you like. Just so you can feel the temperature of the full circle of breath. Perhaps you notice a coolness on the in-breath. Or maybe you notice a warming on the out-breath. Perhaps you feel the pauses when there's no breath for a moment beneath your nose. If you wish, you can move your hand just to rest on your chest. It's just another place to notice the miraculous breath, bringing into the body what you need, carrying away what you don't. You might feel a slight lift on the inhale, or a little fall of the chest on the outhale. Or you might even feel a stillness in the chest if the breath is lower. Again, there's no right or wrong. You're just observing here. You might even place one or both of your hands on your ribs somewhere. And just get a sense of how the in-breath moves the ribs out to the sides, making full room in the lungs. How the ribs move back toward each other on the out-breath. Kind of breathing as a column, the whole core of the body expanding gently. and releasing. Or you may feel your back. Perhaps you notice the pressure if you're leaning against something. Or maybe you even feel it with your clothing. Just observing how even the back expands and pauses and releases and pauses. And then just resting your hands, if you like, on your belly. Just feeling your lower abdomen. Again, not trying to change or shift, but just watching. You might feel the breath move so deeply in your lungs that your diaphragm moves down and your belly pushes out a little. Or you might feel the belly moving back toward the spine on the exhale. And it might be very subtle. So just resting your hands in your lap in whatever way they're comfortable. And once more, finding the 4 parts of the breath. And perhaps in the stillness after the exhale, just finding a little rest. Perhaps just letting yourself be held in that rest. If something pulls your attention away, a noise or a sound or a thought, whenever you notice, Just name it. Noise, thought. And then bring yourself right back to this breath. This particular breath that will never happen again. Just leaning on the breath to help stay present. Since we can't breathe in the future or breathe in the past, just breathing right now in this moment. Knowing that discovery lies not in finding new landscapes, but in having new eyes, a new observation, a new experience. Giving yourself a few moments to notice whatever stillness is available to you. And perhaps feeling into the next 2 to 3 breaths fully. And if you'd like to take a moment to set an intention for yourself for the rest of this retreat time or the day in general, feel free to do that. And then in the next breath or the one after that, whenever you're ready, just allow your eyes to gently open. You might wiggle your fingers a little, move your shoulders around. Take a look around your space. And then come on back to the screen when you're ready. So I would love to hear from folks what it is you noticed about yourself during that practice.